Hello lovely humans, and today I want to talk about how to win a very bad situation. And that happens a lot obviously because with Wargaming's new lovely matchmaker, well, the only thing lovely about it is that... yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, by the way. Now, the thing is, how do you make the most out of a situation like this? I'm going to use this game to perfectly elaborate that. As you can see already there, we have a Panther M10 that is already instantly out of the game. So what I do now, pause this for a second, what I do now, right, I can see my heavy tanks are over there. That Panther is out of the game, right? At this point, I'm already in the mode of, okay, we're playing 6 versus 7, so I'm going to have to adjust based on that, and I don't want to have to, you know, then get myself into a position that I don't want to be in. At this point, these people deserve to be screamed at. In a situation like this, I know I already have a disadvantage starting this game. Which means I'm already going to approach this game completely different than if I didn't see that I don't have a capable team in the first place. Obviously, I'm going to play more passive, going to not put my hit points on the line from the beginning because, you know, at the end, when the enemy's hit points are going lower, mine will still be high. So I can definitely make use of that. Now, another thing that we can do here is obviously very important, count tanks. We see 3 right here, so we know the location of 3 of their vehicles. We already know where the sphere is as well, so we know the location of 4 of the vehicles, which means that we're currently missing a Basotto, which is a tank strobe, which is very likely to camp in the back right there, and that will be, well, shown very quickly. Now we know where the MX is, and now we're missing the Chaffee and 300 alpha damage. What has 300 alpha damage? Exactly, a Basotto. So I know exactly what the Basotto is as well. So all those kind of things that you want to keep in mind. Now, the easier, well, the better armor you have, the easier it is to do something like this, because especially in a lower tier, I mean, obviously this is tier 7, so I don't want to brag about this game or anything like that because it's tier 7. So I just want to simply show the processes that go on to make this happen. Now, what the Churchill did here is he just went in, as you can see right here. He's there, and now he got attacked, he got pushed by the enemy team, and that's something I don't want to happen here. In a situation like this, where currently it's basically 5 versus 7, I don't want to get pushed. I want to be able to pick them off one by one. Now, what I'm thinking already here is how do I make that Panther useful? Right? Because the Panther himself is completely and utterly useless. However, how can I make him useful and help me do better? Right? That's something you want to think about. Right? Because sitting back there isn't going to help me much. So ideally what I want to happen here is I don't want all the enemies to come at me. I want all the enemies to go over there, right? To go towards the Panthers. The Panther takes all the shots because, I mean, that's all he's good for. So then I can use my gun to actually be effective. Now, a tank like this is amazing for that. You know, you got relatively high alpha damage for its tier. You got very good armor. I have no aim, though. But now another thing that we have here is that read the team. Now, the AMX 1375, he's in the city. He's not in a clan. He seems to also not have a camo, which already makes me rate that player quite a bit lower than if you wouldn't have those features, for example. And now, it is 2 versus 6, which is not great, and this is perfect, obviously. Now, you're never going to pull off a situation like this without a degree of luck. Because if all the factors aren't right, this is never going to work, right? So I don't want to be like, oh, you're going to win every 1v5 with this video. No, you will not. But what you can do is use what you can see here to your own advantage. Now, we've got 3 tanks already. Look, I know my alpha damage is around 300. I can one-shot the sphere, I can one-shot the M6. That's already great. The Chaffee is a light tank. It's going to be very quick. It's going to be very hard to deal with. The Basotto is pretty dead, and the Panther has now moved out of their range of fire right there, which means the enemies have to get closer, and to get closer to the Panther, they have to basically run through me. And the worst thing I could do right now is attack, right? If I push forward here, that would be an absolutely horrible idea, because I'm sitting up here, I'm having a great time, I'm having shots, so if I push in there, I give them the advantage, and the advantage is that you never want to take more than a 1v1 at the same time. Now, the Basotto attacks me alone. It's a bit unfortunate of him to do that. Now, what I gotta do here is, again, luckily I do high roll there, otherwise he would have shot me again, and I got the high damage there, so he's gone, and I've already got a kill. Now, that is not what you want to do. If you're that Basotto player, that is about the worst thing you can do, and that is attack a tank that you can't kill. It's the worst thing you can do. And the second worst thing you can do is attack multiple tanks at the same time that you also can't kill. Like, for example, if I'm an autoloader right now, I'd have 300 alpha damage. I could kill all 3 of them. However, there are still 2 in play. The blast droid's on the other side over there. However, there is still 1 more. So I still would not risk it at that point. And now, the M6 is completely clueless, and I can take him out just like that. And there is the blast droid, arriving just in time. Now, what I want to do here, let's pause it for a minute. Because what we have here, 1v4. I know, Chaffee's a one-shot, AMX is basically a one-shot, and the Sphere can be as well. So, perfect situation. This is absolute perfect. The lower HP they are, the easier it is. So, this isn't really tricky to pull off. You just, you know, if they will all be full HP, it would be very impossible. The good thing is, it's the end of the game, they weren't careful, and they're all not full HP, which is great for me, and I still have 1,000 hit points. Now, what I want to do here in a situation like this, I know the MX and the Chaffee are extremely quick, which means I gotta be extremely quick as well in another aspect, and that is kill this blast droid right now. Because if they attack me all at the same time, if all 4 of them jump onto me, I still, despite having obviously the high hit points, I don't really have that much of a chance because they can just unload and I can't kill all of them. And there's the blast droid gone. See that? You saw that fall? There's another tank right there. Pay attention. What is happening? And there's the Sphere. He's just standing out in the open, but the Sphere just shot. Why would I care about the Sphere? The AMX-13 is attacking me, right? The AMX-13 in that case is the bigger threat because here's the thing. What you do in a situation like this, you take the easiest tanks out first, and then you take out the biggest threat after that. The blast droid was easy, the MX was a bigger threat because he had the 3-shot clip, and the Sphere wasn't a threat at all because he just fired, and he's also standing out in the open doing nothing. So, congratulations. And now, I also know where the Chaffee is. He is right back there around where the Panther is, which means, look at the clock, 1 minute 30, which means he's probably going to try to run. That's the one advantage he does have over me at this point. Know your tanks, right? What can that tank do? What can my tank do? The more knowledge you have, the easier it is. So, at this point, I'm not going to try and go back there, because then he can run easier, which means I'm going to go sort of cut him off, or try to cut him off. And, again, there he is. Now he has 1 escape route, well, he has 2, but I can cover off both. And then... what does he do? He runs straight into my gun. That's a 1 versus 5 pulled off in a tier 7. So, what do you take away from a game like this? Well, the most important things are 1v5 is based 90% on luck. However, if you want to do this in an easier scenario like a 1v2, 1v3, then still applies. Always take 1v1s. Most importantly, think before you shoot. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. See you next one. Goodbye.